Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite YouTube channel and podcast, Talking the Ravens all day, every day with your host, Justin P., my lovely co host, my MVP, Miss Shannon Finch.
Hey.
This is episode 57 for the YouTube channel. Make sure y'all guys like and subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you click on all. That way, every time we'll be notified, every time we go live, you'll be notified. And all the links for the audio version right there in the description. All right, Shannon got a good show for us today. See, the first topic is already right down the screen for you. So I'm going to turn it over to my co host so she can do her thing.
All right. So mini camp just ended like last week, I believe, and we got a lot of different quotes from different people. One person that spoke out was Ronnie Stanley, and he said that this is the best he's felt since 2019, which is obviously before his injury in 2020. And 2019 was also the last time, or the first time, I should say, that he was named an All Pro. He was an All Pro left tackle, made first team offense, I think it was. Do you think that Ronnie Stanley can be an All Pro left tackle in 2023?
Oh, absolutely, because he was playing all pro football when he came back. It's just granted that he missed the games that he missed, so it would have hurt him, but he didn't give up nothing but maybe like one sack, if that. When
Hmm.
he came back, I know everybody was like, "Man, we sick of Ronnie Stanley. Is he gonna play? Is he not gonna play?"
Hmm.
People have to remember injuries. You have to let them completely heal. You can't just jump out there just
Hmm.
because you want to get out there and play. Especially any lower leg injuries. He got hurt week 10? Yeah, against Pittsburgh in 2020. He rushed back in 2021 just to help the team. Played one game and re-aggravated and had to miss the whole year. So
Hmm.
that's why he took his time slowly getting back this past season. And they did the right thing. And then when he was
Hmm.
out there, he dominated as usual, man. The guy was a top 10 pick for a reason, man. He's definitely gonna be an all pro if, like I said, if that leg holds up. Like
Hmm.
I say, even when he came back, he had high grades in pass protection, run blocking, one on one block rates. He didn't get beat too often. So yeah, absolutely. But if he stays healthy, yes, Ronnie Stanley is gonna be an all pro bowler, the whole nine, man. Like I said, Mega Ronnie, that left side, man, is always going to be secure as long as he's on the field.
Yeah, I agree completely. Obviously, health has hindered him. One knock that he normally gets, or he had been getting, was that he was soft. I really don't think he's soft. I think that guys are so used to some guys being boisterous and loud and kind of mean, and he doesn't really give you that. Now he doesn't like smile like Jo was. Like Jo would beat you and smile while he was doing it. You know what I mean? Ronnie Stanley's not like that, but he's also still a leader in our room. We saw that last year when he had to check Lamar at one time when Lamar was trying to check somebody and Ronnie Stanley checked Lamar. So we know he's a leader in the room. Obviously, if he's healthy, he's one of the best left tackles in the league. I was reading that the Ravens ranked second in pass protection last year, and I believe that that starts with Ronnie Stanley. So definitely, if he stays healthy, I don't see why he wouldn't be an All Pro. And he's an anchor of our offensive line at this point. Even though he's a left tackle, he's still the anchor of our offensive line. When he's not out there and we have to move guys around, it changes everything. So definitely, as long as he can stay healthy, I think he'll be an All Pro. And the fact that he feels like this is the best he's felt since 2019, it makes me feel good about how he's coming into training camp and going into the season. So let's keep our fingers crossed that that stays that way for him.
Absolutely. Like I said, like the man out there, man, he played, he dominates. Ain't like he out there getting beat like how Morgan
Hmm.
Moses was. PFF had Morgan Moses ranked higher than Ronnie Stanley. I don't get how.
Oh
Like,
wow.
I guess that's off of just how many games he played. Because, like I said,
Hmm.
Morgan Moses is an okay tackle, but like he's not higher than Ronnie Stanley. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care how many
Hmm.
games Ronnie Stanley missed. It's not even close. Like,
Right.
Ronnie Stanley is the top five tackle in football, period. So,
Hmm.
yeah, like I said, so everybody just got to relax. Then when he tweaked it, Harbaugh said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and let you rest that way you can be fully healthy
Hmm.
come the playoffs. And in the playoff game, He blocked the hell out of Sam Hubbard. Only reason Sam Hubbard we know he played because Tyler Huntley wanted to think he was Superman, think he was Clark Kent, and jump out the phone booth, and then boom, the ball popped in his hand and ran it back. Like anybody could have did that, man. You could have did
Mm-hmm.
that. Ball pop into our hand and just run. But other than that, Sam Hubbard was shut out. He didn't do nothing. He had like one tackle, and that was because of Ronnie
Mm-hmm.
Stanley blocking him. So yeah, like I said, and as long as we stay healthy, period, I think we're gonna have a good year as a whole, and for our key players individually, and that's one I'm gonna be Ronnie Stanley.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned injuries. Something else that Harbaugh said in minicamp was that Pat Ricard will begin training camp on a pup list because he had hip surgery. Does that concern you? And do you think that he's in danger of making a team in 2023?
Yes, he was already in danger anyway, because like I said, Todd Monken is not going to use a fullback a whole lot. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to use a fullback slightly, but you can always put a tight end back there. So yeah, he is definitely going to hurt his chances. Because now instead of him picking up the offense, he's going to be rehabbing.
Mm-hmm.
Doing training camp. So that's definitely going to hurt him. Pat Ricard best bet to make this team honestly is to play defensive line right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple because, like I said, fullbacks in today's game is very limited. Only about 4 or 5 teams carry a fullback. Us, San Francisco, Pittsburgh, Miami, Minnesota. There's only a handful of teams. You can count on one hand how many teams carry a fullback. So
Mm-hmm.
now that we're going to be going into an offense with more 3 and 4 receiver sets. Yeah, I'm sorry, Patrick Ricard is definitely on the bubble. There's no question about that. So hopefully he can hurry up and get back, and he can find a place in this offense. If not, he definitely can find a place rotating on the defensive line.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think that definitely hurts him because if you're not out there, you can't pick it up. The new offensive coordinator can't figure out how to utilize you because you're not there. So it's unfortunate for him, but as we've said, we can use him in so many other ways. Um, I don't know if how much cap relief we would get by releasing him, but I do feel bad because everything you said, like he just might not make the team. And we were even talking about this on Tuesday when we were talking about the tight ends. The way that he would probably be used in this offense would be the way we probably would use a tight end. So do we really need to take up a spot offensively for you when you're already hurt? So it was just unfortunate because a guy like that, he has been, like an army Swiss knife. Is that what they call it for us over the years? Like I said, we can use him in a lot of different ways, but when you're trying to figure out this offense and we got all these new offensive weapons, he's just putting himself behind an 8 ball, unfortunately. And with the hip injury, the first thing I always think about is Pitta. Like Pitta never got right after his hip injury ever. So we don't know what that's going to do for him, and if it keeps you out for a long period of time, and it's a nagging injury, you're definitely going to be out. So unfortunately, maybe a couple of weeks ago I wouldn't have felt this way, but now I'm like, wow, like he really might not be here next year.
Yeah, and hip injuries are so tricky because him playing fullback, you got to lead block. Say if
Hmm.
you come in, hit somebody the wrong way, or you run the ball, you fall on your hip, anything. Now
Hmm.
he's back out hurt again. So it's like, definitely. I hope he makes the team. 'Cause like I said, I like Project Pat. I'm a fan of Project Pat. But like I said, in this offense, the fullback is going to be very, very limited. So
Hmm.
we shall see. We shall see. But this injury definitely hurts his chances, though.
Yeah.
Shout out Hindu. Hindu, go subscribe to the Road Podcast. He
Okay.
got some good stuff going on over there. Like I said, August 4th, Bus Boys and Poets, get your tickets. They're going to have a meet and greet for the Ravens Roundtable Ham. Lunch break hot take. Chris just joking from the Deep Cover podcast. Coach Evans, Sip Two Tallies. OTR Mike gonna be there. It's gonna be a full house. So go there, buy a ticket. You're gonna give away cash prizes. They're gonna have a cash bar, all that good stuff like that, man. Tickets I think only like $52. You can buy your ticket at brightevents.com. I think it's on Hindu's channel. So if you go subscribe to the roll call, all the information will be right there.
Okay.
All right, let's go to our next topic. Here we go.
All right. So our new offensive coordinator said that he has prioritized playing faster getting the backs more involved in the passing game and executing in the red zone. Do you think that the offensive players will be held more accountable this season than they have been in the past?
Yes, of course. It's a new season, it's a new offensive system. So now everybody knew with Greg Roman, everybody knew the basics is when we run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, read option with Lamar. Then we was going to throw the ball deep, probably to Mark Andrews or someone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely they definitely going to be held accountable this season. So yeah, go ahead, Shannon. It's your turn. Go ahead. I'm about to use the bathroom, so go ahead. The floor is
Yeah,
yours.
go ahead. It reminds me of when Kubiak came into the building because he was kind of the same way. Basically, he took over the whole offense. John Harbaugh really had nothing to say or do with the offense, and I'm hearing the same type of things with Monken. Like he's more involved than Greg Roman was. More like this is my show. This is the way I'm going to do it. This is how I want to do it, and this is how you guys are going to do it. Greg Roman, from what they said, was more like he let everybody have an opinion. He let everybody have a say. He really didn't stand on what he was saying. What I really liked that Monken said was about the execution. I feel like, we can always say that a play is bad or it's a bad call or it shouldn't have been made. But I also feel like sometimes the players, they aren't held accountable in what they don't do. And executing plays and executing catching the ball, throwing, I don't expect things to always be perfect. Like I'm not saying every ball Lamar throw is going to be perfect, just like every ball that a wide receiver or a tight end catch is not going to be caught perfectly. But we do need to be held accountable with the execution. The execution sometimes is an issue, but what I do think is going to help is that when guys like with Greg Roman, I think it seems like the guys already didn't believe in what he wanted to do. So
Mm-hmm.
when you already don't like what he wants to do, you may not even give it 100% because you like, I don't want to do this anyway. I'm doing this to prove that this was a bad idea. Now it seems like guys really do like what's being taught and in the direction that we're going. So hopefully that means that they're going to put a little bit more umph into what they do. What I was saying before you left was that to me, out of everything that he said, execution was the biggest thing that stood out to me. If the guys execute well, I think we're going to be better off. Because even if a play is called as bad, if you execute it the way it's supposed to be, a play can still be made. And the red zone issue or him focusing on the red zone, I love that because season, moving the ball wasn't an issue. Like we moved the ball up and down the field. It was just that when we got past the 50-yard line, I felt like they didn't know what plays to call. Then when we did get in the red zone, we didn't score enough. So I love the fact that that seems to be a priority for him. You practice certain things, then it can become good habits, not bad habits. Some habits can be bad, some can be good. Let's practice different things in different situations in the red zone because our core guys have been around each other enough to know different circumstances and situational football. I think it's a great thing. And like I was also saying, it reminds me of when Kubiak came because he was the same way. He held them guys accountable, particularly Joe Flacco. They said that was the most Joe Flacco had been held accountable by an offensive coordinator, and that was his best year. So I feel like if Monken comes in and he's holding guys accountable, and I mean everybody from the quarterback to the last person on the offensive depth chart, it can do nothing but help us. So again, I've said this so many times that we've been talking about the Ravens. I'm just excited to see what these guys can do because it's definitely a breath of fresh air with him coming in.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Cause like I said, teams now can't defend us the same way they defended us before. Oh yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna put 9 in the box. We're gonna double cover Andrews. We're gonna sit. We're gonna sit somebody in the middle of the field in case Lamar try to take off. And now we're gonna force these receivers to get open and beat us. Now you can't
Mm-hmm.
defend us like that with Zay Flowers,
Right.
Odell Beckham. You know what I mean? Devin Duvernay, Nelson Aguilar. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Rashad Bateman if he's healthy. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing. And like I said, definitely he's definitely going to hold players more accountable. They said already, excuse me, that he was already chewing some guys out for running the wrong routes and stuff like that. So I like
Mm-hmm.
I like to see that Greg Roman. We didn't see it. Not saying it has he didn't do it, but we just never seen or never heard about it. So it's definitely a good start. By Tom Monken having success in college, now he knows like, hey, I gotta basically prove myself all over again. I can't,
Mm-hmm.
rust off what I did in Georgia. So I
Right.
like it though. I like it because he got a chip on the shoulder too. Because everybody, including me and you, was like, man, that team was stacked. So it was like it's not hard to call offense for them. So now
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna show. Now he got shit to show. Like, okay, yes, we had the talent, but also my scheme worked because it's my scheme.
Right. I'm
Um,
excited.
yeah, same here. Here's the next
So
topic.
your last comment kind of took us into this next topic about Bateman and his health. John Harbaugh said that Bateman recently received a cortisone shot in his foot as he continues to work his way back from his surgery last year. And he said that the shot is helping aiding in his healing process after having screws removed from his foot. Is that concerning to you?
Yeah, a little bit because, like I said, who would to say if he catch a pass and try to put out his foot and cut back, he re-injures his leg, and then it's like here we go again. Like for the third consecutive year, he's gonna have to miss time. It's like yeah, Hollywood had some injury concerns too, but he still played majority of the time he's here. And
Mm-hmm.
each year, statistically, his numbers went up from the year
Mm-hmm.
before. Bateman, that's the complete opposite. His numbers went down from the year before. So so it is a little concerning, but I'm going to put faith in the medical team since and the trainer since Steve Star Saunders is no longer here to
Mm-hmm.
sabotage us. So well, it's early, so thank goodness games are not played. What a meaningful games are not played until September. So he has
Mm-hmm.
from now to September the 10th or the 7th, the 10th. He has September the 10th to be fully healthy. So we shall see. So hopefully, he take it day by day and don't try to rush out there. But it is a little concerning, especially anytime you're dealing with screws.
Yeah. I'm definitely concerned. There are like three injuries that you can get that are like tricky: your neck, your back, and your foot, because they all can heal different ways, and it can take some time to heal sometimes. It reminded me of like Kevin Durant. I don't know if you remember when he had his foot injury when he was in OKC, I believe,
That's
and
my
I believe
team. That's my team. So yeah, I remember that.
right, and he had to
Yeah.
get surgery, and then he
Hmm.
had screws in his foot, and he had to
Yeah.
go back again. Like those injuries are tricky, and to know that is something that he's still dealing with is definitely concerning to me, because like you said, he's already been hurt the past every year he's been here. And we're going into this season hoping he could be our number one. Like that's what you expect to be a number one receiver, and I don't think we're going to have him. Not early on because even with this injury, you don't want to rush him back. So when they do come back in 6 weeks for training camp, really, how much more healed is he going to be? How much can he do in training camp? Which means that you're then missing out on vital time with being on the field with Lamar and the rest of the guys and learning this offense. Um, so then it makes me think about what you were talking about a couple of weeks ago with D Hop. Maybe we do need to bring him in because I don't want to get so late into training camp and so close to the start of the season where we're trying to bring in a wide receiver because we like, oh my goodness, Bateman is not right. When we can see right now, like if he's still like the cortisone shot really it like helps with inflammation and helps with pain, but like what if he still has pain? How many times is he going to get that shot? What if he isn't sitting at home and just chilling? Like what if he's on his feet a little bit too much? You come back for training camp, you're going to be working. You're going to, I'm concerned. I'm saying all that to say I'm very, very concerned. And he doesn't have anyone else that he can blame this on at this point. You know what I mean? I mean, we saw his rant that he had in the off season and when he went off about Eric DaCosta and the coaching and the strength coach and all this other stuff. But it's like now, this is all on you. So I am concerned. I don't want to rush him back. I just feel like now we really might have to go get another receiver. Like at first I was like D Hop, I don't know, just because I was thinking about is it too much? Are we doing too much? But like now, I'm like, yeah, because I don't want to miss a beat. I don't want wide receiver to be a reason why we struggle this season. We brought in too many wide receivers for that, and then to have our number one wide receiver might not be available, or like you said, what if he does like Ronnie Stanley? Comes out there week 1 and then you re-aggravate it, then you out again because you I'm concerned. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm very, very concerned about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say one last thing, then we'll move on to the last topic. Yeah, it's like, and that was why I said I signed DeAndre Hopkins because the Rashad Bateman injury history, like it's
Hmm.
just not good right now.
Yeah.
You know, we saw some flashes from him, which is cool. We saw flashes from Rashad Perriman, like
Hmm.
so. It's like what the hell? It's he's looking like history repeat itself with that low key. So yeah, still signed DeAndre Hopkins. Because the rest of those guys, the Tyreek Blacks and the Andy Isabellas and all them and the Quan Trutwell camp bodies, we all know it.
Hmm.
Camp bodies. They can go out there and have an amazing preseason and still gonna get cut. This is still gonna get cut because you're not doing it against quality starters. You're going against people that are gonna be working regular jobs at the end of August. So I'm just being honest.
Hmm.
So yeah, still go sign DeAndre Hopkins because, like I said, Bateman. It's concerning. It's just not a surprise because, like I said, it's ever since he's came in the league, this has been a thing with our receivers. It's, they always start off hurt.
Hmm.
All right, here's our last topic for today.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Colin Cowherd predicting that the Steelers will make the playoffs, but the Ravens will not?
I mean that's his opinion. It's a silly one, but it's his opinion at the end of the day. We just made the playoffs. They didn't. Yes, I know they beat us at week 17. You know, it's Pittsburgh. Like I said, they have a solid team and a great coach that we all respect, but they got problems on the offensive line right now. They gotta replace some defensive backs. Kenny Pickett. We gonna see is he gonna take that sophomore? I mean, is he gonna make that leap or is he gonna have a sophomore slump?
Hmm.
So but we all know our team is intact. Lamar's back; he's under contract, so that's out the way.
Hmm.
Like I said, our defense is expected to be real well. Like I said, long as our receivers stay healthy, that's going to be a plus. Our running backs, the offensive line is back intact. We're trying to figure out the left guard stuff. I'll get more into that next week when on Tuesday. But our team is basically in. We know what our team gonna look like for the most part. Pittsburgh don't. They still got a lot of holes. So like I said, that's his personal opinion, but I
Hmm.
see Pittsburgh winning probably 9 games again, maybe 8, because they still
Yeah.
got some holes anyway. And that's just me being real, not just because I'm a Ravens fan.
I agree. Like you said, that's his opinion, right? So when I first saw the quote, I just like laughed, like whatever. Because my thing is, we just made the playoffs, and somehow you think that we're not going to make the playoffs this season. Okay. Then when I got more into like in depth of what he said and his reason for saying it, I was like, okay, I can understand why he feels that way. He basically said that he thinks they have a pretty great defense. He believes in Kenny Pickett. He believes in Tomlin. The knock or the reason why he thinks that the Ravens won't make it is because of health, and he pointed to the last 2 seasons, and and because of that, I said, okay, that's fair. Like his logic is fair. The problem with that logic is we literally just made the playoffs last season with the injuries that you're using to make your argument of why we're not going to make the playoffs. So that's why and once I saw that part, I was just like, whatever. Like I just waved it off because at the end of the day, the Steelers are a great organization. And one thing I always call them, and I joke and I always say they're the ultimate underachievers. Overachievers, ultimate underachievers. The reason why I call them underachievers is because the Steelers have had so much offensive talent from the triple B, the killer bees, or whatever they was calling themselves when they had that great old offense. They've
Even
always
before that, with Hines Ward and Plexico and Antoine Randall, even before that.
they've had talent, right? But when they the last Super Bowl appearance they hadn't done nothing with that. And after that 2010 team, they still had some pretty great teams, particularly offensively, and they didn't do anything with it.
Hmm.
And a lot of times, particularly in recent years, the Steelers will start off the season bad, get down, get down 0 and whatever or 1 in this, and they're fighting their way out of it. And because they start playing well towards the end of the season, I feel like that masks the issues that they have. Great teams don't start off like that. But then when you can put together some games when you're out of it and nobody's even looking at you like you're playing for nothing at that point. That has been the Steelers for the past couple of years, playing for nothing. So yes, when nobody's believing in you, nobody's picking you to be the division winner, nobody's picking you to win the Super, nobody's expecting you to make the playoffs, and you're still doing it, but you're winning games towards the end. Yeah, it can look good, right? The famous thing they like to say is, "Well, we don't have a losing record under Tomlin." Okay, and I still feel like y'all are underachievers because you've had all of this talent. They've had more talent offensively than the Ravens have ever had in an offensive league, and couldn't do nothing with it. Even when they make the playoffs, they be one and done. You know what I mean? Like, with the Steelers. Like I said, much respect. It's a lot of history there with them. You can't take away what they've done, but I still call them ultimate underachievers because they hold themselves at such a high regard. And I'm like, y'all ain't done nothing. Y'all haven't done anything. And they could feel the same way about the Ravens, but I can point down every year since we've been to the Super Bowl and the things that have happened to us. Not a lot of people even put us in the categories that the Steelers have been in as far as favorites and all of that. Like I said, when they had the killer bees and they were doing it, they basically had arguably a top five. When I saw a post recently that said the Steelers have five players on their team right now who are top five in their position. That's laughable to me. No, they don't. They do not. You might want to say Minka. You might want to say the Watt brother. But after that, who? But it was a time back then when they had Ben and AB and Val. Yes, you did have three players on your offense alone, not just across your team, but on your offensive alone, three key players that were top five at their position, arguably, if not number one, when it came to AB. And they still didn't achieve nothing. So it's just laughable to me when people put them at a high regard like that because what do you say about the Bengals? The Bengals should be held at a higher regard than anybody in this division if we want to be technical. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers live off history. That's what it is to me. They live off history, and it's cute. It's cute to say they haven't had a losing record. That's cute. But so what? What have you done? You get to the postseason and don't nothing happen. Like I said, the Ravens haven't had a lot of postseason success under Lamar, but at the Saints or since the Super Bowl. I mean, we've won what one game maybe I think since then two. I think Joe Flacco made the playoffs twice after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got
But
two playoff wins since then. Yeah.
yeah, but we were never one and done before the Lamar era. We were never one and done, and then even after that, we still, like I said, that playoff game last year, we should have won that game. Won that game, and that's a team that good. You lose your starting quarterback. You tell me another team that's going to be able to go on the road and play like the Ravens played. That's one reason why I hold John Harbaugh to a high regard. The same way people like to put Tomlin up there and say, well, he haven't had a losing record and all of that. John Harbaugh guys don't quit on him. They don't quit. When they can quit, when you think they're going to quit, when they have absolutely nothing to play for because you feel like what we going to do? We ain't got no quarterback. They don't quit. So for that reason, it's just laughable. Like, yes, it's your opinion, but it's still laughable when you want to count the Ravens out. It would be one thing if you said, I think the AFC North is going to have three playoff teams this year. But the playoffs say the Steelers going to make the playoffs and the Ravens not. It's like, the only reason why I give him a pass is because he mentioned the injuries. That lets me know that you're going off of the past 2 years. But like I said, how can you say that when we just made the playoffs last year?
Yeah, like people realize we were 8-3 both times. The injuries, well, the most important injury that we just couldn't really shake like that was the quarterback. Like you name me a team and lose a starting quarterback, that's gonna be the same. Like Patrick Mahomes go down, well, Ted Hemme will probably win a game or two. And then after that, it's gonna be like,
Mm-hmm.
it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work after that. And then people gonna actually get him on film and all that. And then I don't care how great a scheme Andy Reid called, it's just not gonna work. He can't do what Patrick do for a
Mm-hmm.
whole sustainable season. So what happens? So, like I said, Colin, I get it because everybody wants to say Lamar's quote unquote injury prone. We know it's not the truth. It just so happened the two injuries came at the wrong time of the year, and like
Mm-hmm.
George Taylor said, it just makes you feel like that. But in all reality, it's not. It's only 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
He started 66 out of 76 games. That's 90. That's a 90% ratio. That's very, very good. When you have
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks that have missed a whole entire season, 17, 16, 20 something games. So and he's a league MVP, so we get it. The expectations are going to be up here, rightfully so.
Mhm.
But like I said, Colin, that's his opinion.
Yeah.
I guess that he say that now, then 2 months from now, he might have us going to the Super Bowl. So who
Right.
knows?
Because I think last year was the last year or the year before that he said he was gonna go undefeated. So it's like whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it was the 2020 season. Matter of fact, when we picked up Calais Campbell and Yannick Ngabwe, I remember him saying something like that. But in the end of the day, like you said, Pittsburgh expectations is not to just not have a losing season. Their expectations is to win a Super Bowl or compete for a Super
Mhm.
Bowl. So,
That's
so
what
if
it
you're
should
happy,
be.
so if you're happy, we're just going 9-8 and 8-9. Power to you, but anyway, Colin, we're gonna make you eat those words. But anyway, great show. Always great dialogue with Shannon. Tuesday, like I said, I'll have some pretty good topics on. It might not be as good as Shannon topics, but they'll be okay.
It'll be
So
fine.
everyone, y'all like, subscribe, share, all that stuff like that. Like I said, the audio versions. I know we started a little earlier today. Shannon gonna go hang out in happy hour. So we had to do a early show, So thank you, Hindu, and everybody else who tuned in. I know it was kind of caught you off guard, but hey, it was still a good show. Anything you want to say, Shannon, if we wrap it up?
No.
All right, guys, make sure y'all trade. Y'all know what that means. Talking Ravens all day, every day. I'm your host, Justin P. And my lovely co-host, the MVP, Miss Shannon Finch. So you can follow us on Twitter and IG. The handles are right there. Also, the Talking Ravens all day, every day Facebook group that me and Shannon or admins are. Y'all can always join and be a part of that. That family we got going on. We almost at 1,000 members. So, like I said, man, just come on and join, man. There's always some good stuff going on there.
Mhm.
So y'all have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully everybody's okay. It's a lot going on with the weather. Drive
Mhm.
safe, drink responsibly. And I'll see you guys Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We are out.
Bye. Bye, Justin.
See you.